Dog Child 99.
Say my name, say my name.
Hello people. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about me. Yes, me. Don't click off. You got nothing better to do anyway. You're here, stay. I'm gonna talk about three major parts or aspects of my identity, my relationship with them, and how I got to where I am. Because I'm sure that a lot of people would probably have faced the same struggles I had when, kind of identifying who I was and how I fit into the situation and the people around me. So the three parts I'm going to talk about are my Christianity, my Nigerianness / Blackness, and my K-pop, K-boo, K-drama fan side. Two of these I felt were kind of decided for me, and obviously the last one I chose.
I regret nothing.
So first, my Christianity. So obviously I was born into it, and that's how it was decided for me. And I kind of just rolled with it. I was like, yeah, I'm a Christian. That's cool. My relationship with that really developed very later on in my life. But from birth, I was identified as that and defined by that. So this was really this became clear to me when I moved to France, and people found out I was a Christian and they judged me for it. And they immediately had certain assumptions of me because I was a Christian. So for example, there were some parties I wouldn't get invited to because at the parties, they would play this game where you would pick a phrase in the Bible and then you would say it in a really sexy way, like, yes, David.
That is blasphemous!
And they probably thought I wouldn't appreciate those kind of games. To be completely honest, I probably wouldn't have. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't appreciate the party. But anyways, it took me a long time to realize that people had certain expectations and assumptions of me that I didn't know of, and most of the time weren't true or realistic. And it felt kind of unfair because I wasn't even full on Christian, yet. And it was just kind of all these things thrown on me. Obviously later on, I got exposed to different religions, I got exposed to different people, and I really came to terms with and decided to be a Christian by myself, which is a story for another time. And then it was all well and good. But it took me a long time to realize that this aspect of my identity was a choice that I could make, and when I did make in the end. The second part was my Nigerian and my Blackness. So obviously I'm Nigerian, I've said 5 million times now. But I wasn't really aware of the fact that I was Black until I moved to France. So it's funny because obviously I'm Black. But in France was when I noticed that I was different, that my Blackness made me different from the people around me. And that was because there was 4 Black people in my school. Every time a new Black person came, my teacher would be like, oh, there's a new girl, you would know her. And I would be like, well, where's she from? And they'd be like, Kenya. And I'd be like, oh, probably won't know her then. Or I had this one teacher and he was a sweetheart. See, that's the problem. They're always nice. They don't realize that some of the things they say are So he said to me and my other Black friend that, oh, you guys are gonna go make black magic together. And that was bad enough, that he said that. But then he was like, get it? And I was like, I get it. I don't want to. And it was just little things like this that kind of shook me, and made me realize the position I was in and my difference from the people around me. Another thing that people used to say to me early on was when I had my Nigerian accent, when I was young, I was fresh Nigerian, and they used to be like, oh, we can't really understand what you're saying. And so I had to switch. I had the switch, as Trevor Noah calls it, that most people will probably identify with, where I kind of developed this accent from the people around me and from different circumstances or whatever, so that people could understand me better. And also because some part of me was ashamed of my Nigerian accent because I was so different, clearly different from everybody else. But this really reached a peak when I moved to England, and surprisingly enough, there was a group of Nigerians who made fun of me for not being Nigerian enough, because I came with my switch accent, thought I was cool, and they were just like, yeah, do you even count?
What?
And obviously they probably didn't think that their words had that much of an impact. They probably genuinely believed what they were saying, that I'm not Nigerian enough because I don't have one accent like they did. But looking back now, it was stupid for me to take that in and really get all like in my head about it. But that relationship I had with them made me resent my Nigerianness, because for some people I was too Nigerian, I was too black, and then for other people I wasn't Nigerian enough. So I was just like, then what am I? And this resentment got like 100 times worse when I got into K-pop. I'm the kind of person that fully immerses myself in things. So when I was introduced to like K-pop and K-dramas and K-variety shows, I went all in there. I taught myself the language, I learned about their history, I fully immersed myself in it, and it became part of who I was and what I identified as something I loved. So when people met me, they would be confused. They'd be like, okay, so you have this American accent, you have this Nigerian accent, you're black, you speak Korean, live in France, like what even are you? I found that conflict arise whenever they try to fit me into a box. You know, they would be like, you know, you're not Nigerian enough, you shouldn't be listening to this kind of music. A lot of Nigerians come up to me and be like, oh, why do you listen to them? Like, why don't you only listen to Afrobeats or like pop music? And I'm just like, well, I can listen to whatever I want to listen to. But it was a point of insecurity for me, because some part of me really craved just like being full on Nigerian, having the same experiences as the people who grew up in Nigeria, being surrounded by Nigerian friends, listening to only Nigerian music. But another part of me was just like, well, I'm whoever I am. I'm a product of my different experiences and things I've been exposed to, and that's perfectly fine. So that's me. So now what I want to say from that is that you shouldn't let people fit you into a box, because it's okay to not be one thing. And nowadays, with increasingly global society, there are a lot of people that aren't just one thing. And also, different people can bring out a different side of you. So when I'm with my Nigerian friends, I'm speaking my Nigerian accent. When I'm with my other friends, I speak in a different accent. And probably with my British friends, I probably have a bit of a British accent. That's very bad. But I'm sure this happens to all of us on different levels. And for a long time, I didn't realize that that was okay, because people used to try and make me feel bad for it. Like I wasn't being completely me, which wasn't true. Because it's all me and it's all you, just in different contexts. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about identity. If you feel like that, it's very important to like surround yourself with people who really appreciate you for whoever you are, whatever that may be. And I hope that this has helped someone realize that, you know, you don't need to be so conflicted about all the different parts of you that you like, that exist, and all the different things you like, because it's okay to be different. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.